There comes a moment in every person's life when the path ahead becomes blurry. You don't know how things will turn out. You don't know whether your effort will pay off. You don't know if you're strong enough to make it all the way. And in that moment when logic fails, when circumstances look impossible, when the world seems to whisper, give up, there is something inside you that whispers back, keep going. That small whisper, that soft, steady, unshakable voice, that is faith. Faith is not loud. Faith is not dramatic. Faith is not dramatic. Faith doesn't always come with fireworks or big signs. Faith is quiet. Faith is gentle. Faith is invisible, but it pushes you forward when nothing else can. Napoleon Hill said, faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Faith is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. It is the hand that pulls you forward even when your feet refuse to move. Faith begins quietly, almost silently, inside your heart long before the world sees any proof of what you're capable of. It starts as a whisper, an inner voice that says, you can do more, you can be more, you were made for something greater. That whisper doesn't come from logic, it doesn't come from circumstances, and it doesn't come from the opinions of people around you. It comes from a place far deeper, a place Napoleon Hill called infinite intelligence. And when that voice speaks, it is not predicting your future. It is calling you toward it. You might not see the full path. You might not have the resources, the support, or the confidence. But faith tells you to take the first step anyway. Faith tells you that even though the mountain ahead looks impossible, your feet were made to climb it. Faith tells you that even though everything around you seems uncertain, something within you is absolutely certain. You are not done yet. There are moments in life when everything seems to stand against you. Plans fall apart. People disappoint you. Opportunities slip through your hands. You try and try and try, yet nothing seems to move. It's in these moments that faith becomes more than a belief. It becomes a force, a push, a silent strength that holds you up when your knees are shaking. And when your heart is tired of being brave, faith doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It just sits inside you, steady and unwavering, reminding you that setbacks are not signals to stop. They are simply tests asking whether you are committed enough to continue. And every time you keep going, every time you choose to rise instead of retreat, your faith grows stronger. It becomes the engine behind your persistence, your courage, and your resilience. When Napoleon Hill said, faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought, he meant that faith is the spark that activates everything else. You can have a dream. You can have talent. You can have desire. But without faith, all of that remains asleep inside you. Faith wakes it up. Faith turns an idea into a mission. Faith transforms fear into fuel. Faith tells you that you don't need to know how everything will work. You just need to trust that it will. And when you start believing, truly believing, something magical happens. You begin thinking differently. You begin speaking differently. You begin carrying yourself like a person who knows where they're going. Even if the road isn't visible yet, your energy changes. Your decisions change. You begin attracting opportunities you once thought were out of your reach. People feel your conviction. Life feels your determination. This is what Hill meant when he said that faith is a vibration, a frequency that aligns you with the very things you're seeking. But faith is not just positive thinking. It's not just hoping for the best. Faith is work. Faith is discipline. Faith is choosing again and again to trust the vision you carry, even when reality hasn't caught up yet. It is waking up every morning and saying, I don't know how today will unfold, but I know I will move forward. It is standing tall even when you're trembling on the inside. It is believing that the chapter you're in is not your final chapter. And the beautiful truth is this. You don't need perfect circumstances to have faith. You don't need perfect confidence. You don't need perfect support. You just need that small, steady belief that your life was meant for more and that the power guiding you is greater than the obstacles facing you. Once you have that, you can endure anything, overcome anything, and rise from anything. Faith is the invisible force that keeps you walking when your legs are tired. It's the strength that returns every time you think you've given all you had. It's the quiet reminder that your story isn't finished, and the best pages are still waiting to be written. Faith grows the moment you begin to trust possibilities that your eyes cannot yet see. It is the quiet courage inside you that whispers, "Keep going, something greater is waiting." And yet, most people misunderstand faith. They think faith is simply belief. They think it is just a mental thought. But faith is not just something you carry in your mind, it is something you live with your entire being. Faith is motion. Faith is energy. Faith is an inner certainty that moves through you even when the rest of your life feels frozen. There are days when nothing around you looks promising. Days when the world feels heavy, progress is slow, and every step forward feels like pushing against an invisible wall. That is where most people stop. They think the delay means they are unworthy or unlucky or incapable. But faith sees delays differently. Faith understands that delays are part of the strengthening process. Faith knows that the seed does not break the ground the day it is planted. It breaks the ground the day it becomes strong enough to rise. Faith gives you that strength. When Napoleon Hill said, "Faith is the only known antidote for failure," he wasn't speaking about blind hope. He was speaking about a magnetic force that awakens inside you anytime you choose to believe in a future greater than your present. Faith operates like a quiet gravity that pulls you toward the person you are meant to become. It doesn't shout, it doesn't push, it doesn't demand. It simply continues pulling you forward little by little, moment by moment, and you feel it during those moments you choose to try one more time. When your hands tremble but you still take the shot. When the world doubts you but you decide to trust yourself a little more. When your dream feels too big but your heart feels too hungry to give up. Those moments are the fingerprints of faith. Those moments prove that something deeper than fear is alive inside you. The truth is, faith often begins in darkness. It grows in uncertainty. It takes root in the moments when you feel like you have nothing else left. Because when everything is clear, when life is comfortable, when the road is easy, you don't need faith. But when the path becomes confusing, when you feel lost, when the future scares you, that is when faith becomes your inner compass. It doesn't show you the entire map. It only gives you the next step. And sometimes that is enough. Faith teaches you to take action even before the path is visible. It teaches you to speak your dreams even when your voice shakes. It teaches you to invest in your own destiny even when the results are not immediate. Faith is choosing to show up again and again, not because success is guaranteed, but because something inside you refuses to let your story end here. There is a moment in every person's life where they stand between what they fear and what they desire. The people who succeed are not the ones with perfect skills or perfect opportunities. They are the ones who choose faith at that crossroads. They are the ones who decide, "I don't know how yet, but I will figure it out." And that decision, that single internal declaration, begins to rearrange the entire universe around them. Faith is not just spiritual, it is practical. It affects how you think, how you speak, how you act. When you have faith, you carry yourself differently. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, your energy shifts. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. You stop allowing your fears to narrate your future. Faith gives you a new identity, not of someone who tries, but of someone who becomes, and the most powerful part is this. Faith does not require large steps. It only requires small, consistent steps taken with a believing heart. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You only need to have enough faith to take the first step. And once you take it, something inside you ignites. Your confidence grows, your belief expands, momentum builds, and the second step becomes easier. The third becomes natural. The fourth becomes inevitable. Faith turns effort into movement, and movement becomes destiny. Faith opens doors that logic cannot. It creates chances that statistics cannot explain. It orchestrates events that look like coincidence but are actually alignment. When you walk by faith, life begins giving you signs. The right people appear, the right opportunities arrive, the right moments unfold. Suddenly you find yourself standing in places you once only imagined, not because everything was easy, but because you refused to stop when everything was hard. And that is the quiet magic of faith. It does not eliminate challenges, but it transforms you into the kind of person who can overcome them. Faith is not just a word or a vague feeling. It is the unseen bridge that connects the deepest desires of your heart to the reality that awaits you. It is the quiet but relentless force that whispers to your soul, reminding you that no matter how dark or uncertain the path, you are capable of walking it, and that the outcome you seek is not a fantasy but a certainty waiting to be claimed. Faith is the invisible engine that powers every extraordinary achievement in human history. Every inventor who changed the world, every entrepreneur who defied the odds, every leader who inspired nations, they all shared this same intangible yet unstoppable force, unshakable faith in themselves, in their vision, and in the universe's ability to respond to persistent belief. When you embrace faith fully, you begin to see that your mind is not just a vessel for thoughts, but a fertile ground where possibilities take root. Faith nourishes these seeds, giving them the sunlight of conviction and the water of relentless hope. It is faith that transforms mere ideas into unstoppable momentum and ordinary moments into opportunities for greatness. When doubt arises, and it inevitably will, faith is the anchor that steadies you. It reminds you that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone toward it. It allows you to interpret every setback as a lesson, every delay as preparation, every obstacle as a hidden blessing. Faith also operates on a level beyond the purely mental. It is a feeling, an energy, a vibration that moves through your entire being. When you truly believe in your vision, your body aligns with that belief. Your actions, your words, even the subtle choices you make, begin to reflect the certainty that what you desire is already on its way. This alignment is powerful because the universe responds to it. People, opportunities, and resources that once seemed distant or unattainable begin to appear in your path. Faith has this uncanny ability to make the invisible visible, to transform hope into tangible outcomes. But the magic of faith is not just in expecting results. It is in the unrelenting commitment to the process itself. Faith is patient. Together, they transform you from a dreamer into a doer, from someone who hopes into someone who achieves. Every great success story demonstrates the synergy between faith and planning. Napoleon Hill emphasized the power of the mastermind, the alliance of like-minded individuals who bring knowledge, skills, and perspectives together. Planning becomes exponentially more effective when combined with collaboration, because it draws on collective insight and experience. You realize that the universe often works through people, opportunities, and connections, and that your faith can activate these channels when paired with action. This understanding changes the way you approach life. You begin to see every encounter, every conversation, and every challenge as part of the larger design that is aligning to your purpose. The act of planning itself reinforces your faith. When you see a well-laid strategy taking shape, your belief in your ability to succeed intensifies. It becomes easier to visualize the outcome, to feel it in your mind, and to move confidently toward it. Faith gives you courage. Planning gives you direction. Faith gives you hope. Planning gives you momentum. And as you take step after step, no matter how small, you generate a sense of unstoppable energy that propels you forward. Organized planning also teaches patience and discipline. It reminds you that extraordinary achievements are rarely instantaneous, and that every small, consistent effort compounds into results far beyond your expectations. Planning gives structure to persistence, ensuring that your faith does not become idle optimism, but an active, dynamic force. It turns chaos into clarity, fear into action, and possibility into reality. When you begin to combine unwavering faith with carefully organized planning, you notice a shift, not just in outcomes, but in yourself. You become more confident, more decisive, and more attuned to the subtle signs and opportunities the universe places in your path. Faith guides your spirit while planning directs your hands. Faith fuels your heart while planning trains your mind. And together, they create a synergy so powerful that your actions seem almost magnetic, drawing the people, resources, and opportunities you need to make your vision real. Even when the world doubts you, even when circumstances seem impossible, the combination of faith and planning becomes your secret weapon. It allows you to approach challenges with a quiet confidence, knowing that every deliberate step you take is bringing you closer to the reality you envision. Your faith keeps the fire alive. Your planning keeps the fire burning in the right direction. And together they form the invisible engine that propels your life forward with unstoppable force. Persistence is the quiet, unwavering force that separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. It is the refusal to give up when every fiber of your being is screaming that the path is too hard, too long, or too uncertain. Persistence is not just about stubbornness, it is about having a steadfast commitment to your vision, a determination that is fueled by faith and reinforced by purpose. It is the repeated act of showing up, again and again, even when the world offers no immediate reward, no visible sign of progress, and no guarantee that the struggle will ever end. Every person who has accomplished greatness, from inventors to leaders, from artists to entrepreneurs, has relied on this relentless force, allowing it to carry them forward when hope alone was not enough. True persistence begins with clarity of purpose. You must know what you are fighting for, what you are striving to create, and why it matters so deeply to your heart. Without this clarity, persistence becomes meaningless. It becomes effort without direction, energy without result. But when you anchor your persistence in purpose, it becomes a beacon that lights your path, a compass that guides your actions, and a shield that protects your resolve from the attacks of doubt, fear, and criticism. Purpose gives your persistence depth, and faith gives it power. Together, they allow you to endure hardships, overcome setbacks, and maintain forward momentum when the journey seems impossible. Persistence is also about resilience. It is the ability to face failure not as a verdict, but as feedback, a lesson that teaches, strengthens, and refines. And every time you stumble, every time your plans are thwarted, every time rejection or delay confronts you, persistence demands that you rise, adjust, and continue. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones, frustrations into fuel, and challenges into opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Those who persist are not those who never fail. They are those who refuse to be defeated by failure, treat it as a temporary condition rather than a permanent outcome. The power of persistence is amplified when it is combined with consistent action. Dreams and faith alone are not enough. You must translate them into daily effort, into habits that reinforce your commitment to progress. Persistence is not a single act. It is the accumulation of countless small acts repeated over time, each one moving you closer to your goal. It is showing up on days when motivation is absent, taking the next step even when you feel exhausted, and maintaining focus even when distractions and doubts pull at your attention. This quiet, disciplined consistency is what separates fleeting hope from lasting achievement. Persistence also strengthens character. It teaches patience, humility, and self-reliance. It forces you to confront your fears and insecurities and to discover the inner reserves of strength you never knew existed. As you persist, you begin to realize that the journey itself is shaping you, preparing you and equipping you with the skills, resilience, and insight necessary to succeed at a higher level. Every struggle endured, every barrier overcome, and every moment of discomfort faced with determination becomes a brick in the foundation of your ultimate success. One of the most profound aspects of persistence is that it is contagious. When you commit fully and refuse to quit, you inspire those around you. Your determination motivates others, draws allies, and attracts the resources and opportunities necessary to advance your mission. Faith fuels your inner drive. Planning gives it direction, but persistence ensures that your efforts are sustained long enough to yield results. Without persistence, even the clearest vision, the strongest faith, and the most meticulous plan can falter. With it, obstacles become temporary, challenges become opportunities, and dreams that once seemed distant come into reach, step by step, day by day. Persistence is not a matter of occasional heroism. It is a lifelong commitment to moving forward despite uncertainty, fear, or opposition. It is the willingness to endure discomfort, to embrace struggle, and to invest your energy where others withdraw theirs. It is the courage to rise after every fall, to continue when others quit, and to maintain focus on the promise of what lies ahead rather than the difficulties of the present. It is this relentless determination, this refusal to surrender to circumstances, that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, that turns vision into reality, and that proves again and again that the invisible force of faith, when combined with persistent action, is unstoppable. The law of the subconscious and the power of infinite intelligence is one of the most profound principles that Napoleon Hill emphasizes, yet it is often misunderstood. It is the recognition that there is an intelligence far greater than our conscious mind, a force that orchestrates opportunities, ideas, and solutions beyond our immediate understanding. Faith opens the door to this higher intelligence, allowing it to flow into your life in ways that can feel almost miraculous. When you align your conscious desires with this unseen force, you begin to notice ideas and solutions appearing seemingly out of nowhere, synchronistic events aligning perfectly, and resources appearing just when you need them. This is not magic. It is the natural result of your faith acting in harmony with the universe's intelligence. Your subconscious mind is a powerful servant, but it responds only to the dominant thoughts and beliefs that you feed it consistently. Faith acts as the guiding energy that programs your subconscious with purpose and certainty. When you consistently nurture positive, goal-oriented, and confident thoughts, your subconscious begins to operate on autopilot to manifest these intentions into reality. It influences your habits, your perceptions, and even your interactions with others, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your vision. It takes the invisible currents of thought and transforms them into tangible outcomes. This is why the cultivation of faith is so crucial. Without it, your subconscious may continue to run on old patterns of doubt, fear, and limitation, keeping you from reaching your full potential. Infinite intelligence, as Hill describes, is not something external you must seek. It is a living presence that you can access through clarity of purpose, focused thought, and unwavering belief. When you consistently feed your mind with faith-infused ideas, your subconscious begins to communicate with this higher intelligence. You may experience sudden insights, flashes of creativity, or unexpected solutions to problems you thought were unsolvable. These moments are not coincidences. They are the universe responding to your alignment with the principles of faith, persistence, and purposeful planning. Every breakthrough, every sudden inspiration, every timely opportunity is a reflection of your connection to this infinite force. Harnessing this power requires conscious effort and discipline. You must train your mind to focus on what you desire rather than what you fear. You must guard against negative thoughts, doubt, and pessimism, which act like static, clouding the channel between your conscious will and the higher intelligence waiting to guide. Meditation, visualization, affirmation, and deep reflection are tools that help quiet the noise of the conscious mind and allow your subconscious to operate as a conduit for guidance, creativity, and inspiration. Through these practices, your mind becomes a magnet, attracting the people, resources, and circumstances that are necessary to achieve your highest goals. The interplay between faith, subconscious conditioning, and infinite intelligence creates a life that is larger than ordinary. It enables you to solve problems more creatively, see opportunities others overlook, and maintain composure and clarity in the face of uncertainty. Faith acts as the catalyst, the subconscious as the operative mechanism, and infinite intelligence as the guiding force. Together they form a triad of unseen power that, when properly understood and activated, can make the impossible possible. Moreover, connecting with this principle deepens your sense of trust in life itself. You begin to realize that while effort, planning, and persistence are essential, there is a greater intelligence orchestrating outcomes in alignment with your highest purpose. This realization does not replace action. Rather, it empowers action with precision, timing, and creativity that could not be achieved through effort alone. The more you learn to listen to this inner guidance, the more confident you become in your decisions, and the more resilient you become in the face of setback. Faith is the key that unlocks this hidden potential, and persistence ensures that your connection to the infinite intelligence is maintained through every challenge. The subconscious mind, when properly aligned, works tirelessly on your behalf, moving circumstances, people, and opportunities into position to support your success. It acts silently, constantly, and ceaselessly, shaping your life in ways that are often invisible but undeniably effective. When you understand and trust this law, you begin to navigate life with a sense of ease, purpose, and unstoppable momentum, knowing that you are supported by forces far greater than yourself, and that every thought, belief, and action aligned with faith propels you closer to the fulfillment of your highest potential. And so, as we reflect on the power of faith, we realize it is far more than just a feeling. It is the invisible force that shapes our destiny. Faith fuels our thoughts, strengthens our persistence, guides our plans, and connects us to a higher intelligence that orchestrates opportunities beyond what we can imagine. When combined with desire, action, and unwavering belief in ourselves, it becomes unstoppable. Remember, every challenge you face, every setback you endure, and every moment of doubt is simply a test of your faith. Your ability to keep moving forward, to trust in the unseen, and to align your thoughts, actions, and intentions with your vision is what will determine your ultimate success. Faith is not passive. It demands courage, persistence, and conscious effort. It asks you to rise above fear, to embrace uncertainty, and to keep believing even when the world seems to say otherwise. As you leave this moment, carry this truth in your heart. You are capable of far more than you know. The invisible force of faith is within you, waiting to be harnessed. Nurture it, feed it with belief, guide it with purposeful action, and allow it to propel you toward your highest potential. Step forward with confidence. Walk boldly with courage, and know that the universe is aligning itself in your favor. When you combine faith with action, persistence, and clarity of purpose, nothing can stop you from achieving the life you are destined to live. So take a deep breath, trust in your power, and move forward with faith as your constant companion. Your dreams are not distant, they are already on their way to you. Believe it, pursue it, and let the invisible force that resides within you push you toward the extraordinary life that is waiting.